name is St-Laurent, reporting for the Vancouver Sun about the upcoming provincial elections on May 14th. I interviewed candidates in the Coquitlam Burke Mountain constituency. I interviewed Shane Kennedy for the Conservatives, Chris Wilson for the NDP, and Douglas Horne for the Liberals. What's one word you would use to describe the BC Liberal Party?
Broken.
I would say tired.
That we're balanced in many ways.
NDP?
I don't want to say, well, I'm going to use the word incompetent.
Ready.
Well, I think tax and spend.
Conservatives?
I think we're forthright.
Bold?
I'm not certain what they stand for.
And the Greens?
Well-meaning, but sometimes misdirected.
Hopeful.
Well, obviously the environment.
What do you consider to be the top issue affecting your community?
It's a way of interconnection. How do we start to develop as more than just a bedroom community? And I think that's going to be the future of Coquitlam Burke Mountain. We have to look at ways of initiate as a work-live space as opposed to just something where you live here, commute out, not really involved in the community as much as we possibly could arrange for people to do.
In general, you know, if I kind of go based on what I've heard across the constituency, people just want change. You know, there are a lot of specific issues, but in general, you know, people just want to change. You know, they think the BC Liberals have been in power for too long. They seem to have run out of ideas, and they're ready for a change.
Well, we've had a number of issues. The growth in the Burke Mountain area and new schools and facilities up there are very, very important. We also have a number of issues on transportation. Obviously, the new Evergreen line is now being under construction, and I think that's a huge step forward. Transportation issues are very important, I think, to the people in the area. But I think the number one concern is healthcare and taxes.
What are your plans to deal with the high cost of housing?
What they did in Alberta is they would say if you bought a property and if it increased in value and you sold that property under 12 months term, you would be taxed back away the capital gains on that. And that discouraged people from doing flipping, which is part of what got us into the problems here in BC.
One of the things that we can do is try to work with the legislation regarding stratas to try to encourage stratas to allow more rentals in condo buildings, for example.
Well, you know, we've have a number of programs that we've put forward. I think one of the greatest ones is our rental subsidy program that allows people to, you know, stay where they are or find a home wherever they'd like to live. And you know, it's one of the things about building social housing. If it was up to government to simply build social housing units, we'd never catch up with the problem. So we've created this program so that, you know, you can have your rent subsidized. The landlord doesn't know that the rent is subsidized, and it's a great program because, you know, people can decide where it is that they want to live.
Enbridge Northern Gateway Pipeline project?
The Enbridge pipeline is just too risky, right? It hasn't been, you know, the route it's taking goes through some very, very sensitive land. The company itself has proven not to be trustworthy in a lot of cases. And so we're against.
I think it might be a debt issue, but we do have to look at how we're looking at resources. I don't think anyone, except perhaps the BC Liberals, want to start increasing the amount of fracking. And you can argue, what's the difference between, you know, increasing the amount of natural gas and the oil? The oil's already there. It's going to be there for the next 20 to 30 years. Expanding fracking is going to cause a whole bunch of environmental issues that we're concerned about.
Industry and in business can understand what the rules are. You know, how deeply we are concerned about the environment and protecting the environment, but also that things move forward. And I think by prejudging things and not allowing proper process to be taken place is really unfortunate, and that's what we've seen with the NDP. With rather than having principles in place, simply saying no.
All right. What are your plans to help troubled youth in your constituency?
I think one of the things I want to look at is we do have the tax credit. I want to see that expanded a little longer. My son recently turned 17, so he's not eligible for that anymore. I'd like to see that actually go up to 21. The reality is most people nowadays are staying at home longer. They're still under their parents' guidance and care for a longer period of time. And I want that to be expanded into other areas. I know originally the intention was to encourage physical fitness, and I wouldn't want to take away from that. But I'm saying if you have any activity after school or in any other way, piano, art, what have you, that keeps you out of trouble. That keeps busy hands.
My wife is a vice principal in the school district, and I've heard for years and years and years about how difficult it is to get mental health treatment, for example, for teenagers. And I think we need to really look at that situation and figure out how to fund those kind of programs a lot better, because kids are dying. you know, kids are dying, and there's stuff that can be done to...
Worked very hard with a group called Pocomo Youth Services. We've raised over $201,000 from government for them over the last year. It's a great program. You know, one of the things with youth and one of the difficulties with government is oftentimes we work from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the evening, and you know, that's not necessarily when people want our support or need our support. And you know, Pocomo does a great job. It has 2 buses that go out in the community in the evening and really go to where the kids are and where they need the support and where they need the help, and don't judge them, and basically provide the support that they need. And I think it's a fantastic program.